is going on, everybody? I need my glasses. Mama Rosie is currently guarding them right now with her nap. I am Famine from Famine Studios. Welcome, welcome. Hope you guys are having an excellent Tuesday. It is certainly a Tuesday. If you're new to the channel, welcome. We do customizing, world building. We jibber jabber. We talk about stuff. It's a pretty good Friday. Friday. Boy, it's only Tuesday. Tuesday night hangout. So if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. There are tons of videos on DIY stuff for toys, world building, trash bashing, kit bashing, model making type stuff. There's also tons of videos on making cosplay props and other things like that. So be sure to check that out. Stick around. Welcome, everybody. I'm glad you all made it out. Let's go ahead and say hello. Justin Welch, first one in the chat. I'm surprised it's not Bjorn. Welcome, welcome. Thank you. Glad to see, glad you're here to see some of this progress. Let me grab these glasses as Rosie is trying to help herself to some things that she's not supposed to be in, like my wallet. She's like, I know that's where the treat money comes from. I know that's where the treat money comes from. Oh, Rosie. Yeah. All right. So now that I can see, you all look way better. I'm glad that they turned the lights on in the club. Today we're going to be doing a bit about riveting. You are absolutely correct. I am talking about riveting, but we're going to talk about real riveting, but we're going to do scale model making, fake riveting, world building riveting. You'll see what I'm saying. As we can tell, look at that. Let's see. We got some more people popping in. Let's say hello to Grumpy Puppet. Hello, hello. All right, Bjorn. Hello. There he is. He was first in YouTube. They're getting wise, man. They're getting wise. So, how's everybody doing today? I am having a Tuesday. Tuesdays, like, this is the highlight of my Tuesdays, honestly, is coming and talking to you guys. It's a big highlight. Makes it exciting for me. It does sound riveting, right? Yeah. Hello, fellas and ladies, and everybody on their own thing. Let's talk. So, before we get started, I mean, let's look at the elephant in the room. I guess by elephant, I mean the giant portion of world building that's been going on here. Never mind that. That's a time portal. You never saw that. You guys actually saw it on a video build. I've been working on expanding Gimmick. This section is going to be called the docks. I will go way into more lore and detail about the docks a little further, but basically what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be looking at all the different ways to rivet pipes, spaceships, ductwork, crafts, tanks, water tanks, you name it, that give it that classic science fiction aesthetic, that vintage sci-fi movie, like the rocket ships all had rivets on them, the retro futurism, a lot of those things had rivets, cars, stuff like that. It adds character, and I'm going to show you a ton of different ways to do it. We're going to be working on some pipes possibly, but the main thing that I want to ensure that we get done today is this that I've been working on. This is a kit bashed water tower. And as you can see, there are greeblies and different panels all over it, and I want to get some rivets on there. And I'm very excited. That's the top of the tank. You know, the liquid that gets filtered and distilled and turned into water gets collected in here. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. Let's see what we got going on. Girl with the white or gray raptor. Oh, okay. In the box set with the shipping crate that holds the raptors, those are she was from Jurassic World Dominion. And yeah, that's a really good set to get because those little containers make great science fiction storage crates. And also I turned one into a food cart, or food truck, food trailer, whatever you want to call it. Bjorn's got some goodies. What do you got, Bjorn? Show them off to share the class. Did you get enough for everybody? Snowflake is outside the door. She heard that I put on a black t-shirt in the other room and came running. I swear. That's what must have happened. Anthony, hello. My man. Audi, what's going on, man? Glad you can make it in. Yeah, it's a good set. And like I said, I use the containers for a lot, and they're going to be put to good use. So they're really good, and they're like on clearance at Target right now for like $4 or $5. Like I'm half tempted to get a couple more, but Tuscans and a Mastiff. Yes, hell yeah. That Mastiff is great. I'm actually going to go back and pick up a couple more of those. Got a got a bonus coming from work, and it was bananas. I'm not. This is not me bragging. I am never this fortunate. So I am taking it, putting most of it away for a vehicle, but I am spoiled myself and spoiled my girlfriend and the dogs too because I love them. And I'm gonna go back and pick a few more of these Tuscans and Mastiffs, especially even if I just kept the Mastiffs. Like these things are great. Still, the head turns, the legs move, the jaws articulate. Like this little guy is great. A little buggy space dog, right? It's freaking cool. Like, give me more of that. I love this dude, like a dog iguana. But yeah, and Bjorn got the bloodfin as well. They make a cream for that now. You put it on, and it takes two different things. Sorry. So I guess we're gonna go ahead and get started. Let's see here. Can make a harness and chain for it. I thought about that. I might make collars. I don't know if I'll make leashes. That's me. Lazy. A little lazy. Let's see here. Yeah, a pack of them is what's necessary. Like you need a small pack of them. And the predator hounds. Yeah, I looked at those and I kept putting it off. I should have got them. They're out there still. They're around the $20 mark. But man, there was at one point where they were like 15 or 16 bucks on Amazon. And I'm like, stupid. Hello, Rosie. Yes, we're going to be talking about riveting and Rosie the Riveter, which is your name that you picked out. So we'll talk about that. Nice. All right. So before we get started, I want to go ahead and give a special, where are you? Huge shout out right now to all my patrons. Special thanks goes out to Bjorn, Stephen Arias, Lord of Thane, and Task Force Wombat. You guys have made this month awesome. I appreciate you guys signing up. I encourage everybody to sign up. There is a free tier. There's a $3 tier, a $5 tier, and a $10 tier. Each of them gets their own thing. This is just one of these small ways that I can, thank you guys. So be sure to check them out on their socials, follow their work. Bjorn is putting together some awesome concept stuff for figures. Lord of Thane has a show on Wednesdays. Task Force Wombat. Go check everybody out. Check out Steven. Support the homies. So let's see. Put the Xeno, the dog leash, or the dog xenomorph. That's my favorite one. Alien 3 was actually the first Alien movie that I saw. Weird story that. It was actually the first weekend that I got The Lost World on paperback and read it in 10 hours. I read fast. Bloodfin for custom. Hell yeah. Let's see. Sticky bedazzlers. Well, there's some of it's bedazzlers, but we're going to go. Thank you, my friend. Always, honestly, always appreciate it. And some of it's going to go to treats for these guys. Don't tell them, though. Don't look at me like that. And yes, I'm gonna get those Dime Novel Legends jackalopes. I will have pocket jackalopes that come with me on road trips. I'm gonna have custom jackalopes all over Gimmick. They're going to be a protected species, just like cats are on Gimmick. So I'm very excited for that. And jackalopes do play in heavy in the lore for not only the world that I'm building and the channel. Yeah. Thank you. That's, so I look at that's 1000% right. Like you worded that way better than I could have. I may borrow that phrase, but I consider Patreon, yes, you're investing in the artwork, but for Patreon, for entertainers who put together these videos and things like this, you're investing in the final product, the finished video, the live streams, the podcasts, whatever it is. Those things are there, so you're supporting them that way, and that's really good. So thank you for saying that. That actually makes that more abundantly clear. Red's begun their world building, and it's a lot. Good. And remember, you can always build up. You don't have to build wide. You build up instead of wide. I mean, granted, it's a wide coming off of but I'm still building. You get what I'm saying. Yeah, if they're available at Joe Fest, and I do manage to make it out to Joe Fest, I will be leaving with most of them. I may have to wrestle Bjorn in the parking lot to like get into his tent. Ted Man, what's up? Thanks for stopping in, brother. Cheers. Tonight we're sponsored by Grocery Store Seltzer, grapefruit, as usual. I had a LaCroix, and the dogs jumped on the bed where I had it set. It was closed. I had it set there, and they jumped on the bed, and it fell, and I was like, I'm not going to crack that open. It'll foam all over everybody, good laugh, but I'll get wet. So, but yeah. So let's talk rivets. We've done enough jack-jawing about the process of making videos. So like I said, I kit bashed this entire little water tank together. This cap was a last minute addition. I just wanted something to differentiate the shape. And so you're drinking Busch Light and I'm drinking seltzer. So it's like the same thing. Dead man does tell no tales. That is legally true. I'll go get my Jolly Roger. I'll put this thing right behind me. Anywho, if anybody who's super curious about the Greeblies, a lot of this self-sticky EVA foam, which I actually have to tack that down a little bit there. Just different cut pieces, cardboard from a cracker box from the last time we had my girlfriend. Let me fucking tell you guys, she makes the bomb fucking diggity charcuterie boards. Phenomenal charcuterie boards. But anyway, we had like a box of fancy crackers. The cardboard was a little bit thicker, so I snagged it. So I put that on there. A piece of a Jason Jensen train floor panel, which has so much detail, so many rivets like in the corner, like little fasteners, some random ribbon cable that I snagged, pieces from my basement from like plastic containers and stuff. This was a battery case for something. I took it out a long time ago. It's been sitting in my bits box, in my electronics bits box for, repairing electronics because I do so much of that. Don't. And I put that on there. Cardboard, you can see you'll see those tiny little holes there. That was kind of like my pre-riveting phase. And the ladder is from Raul from Diorama Accessories. So got a bunch of stuff here. And I mean, I just loaded this thing up because I want it to have character and texture. I'm also probably going to put some dents and stuff later. But here we're talking about riveting. So I'm going to tell you guys a little bit this way. There are a ton of different ways you can rivet your stuff. One is this one here. I'll show you guys. You see how I just pushed those in? Those are meant to be like, bucked in rivets or super fastened rivets. I used to do a lot of riveting when I worked in aircraft. When I worked in aerospace, I would rivet windows together. We would rivet panels together, things like that, help fireboxes. I'd help, here and there again for the UH-60, do some stuff for the Osprey. Like we riveted a lot. There are rivets aplenty, but because aerospace, everything's streamlined and smooth, you really don't see a lot of them on the exterior of the plane in the way that I'm thinking of, like the science fiction way, where, the rocket's just got these big bulbous rivets up the sides and all that stuff. And I like that aesthetic. It adds character, it adds detail, it adds a little bit of, visual interest to what you're making, production value. You want this thing to look cool and, catch eyes and have different things to look at. So there's different ways to do it. One is like I just showed you guys, where you just press into the foam. EVA foam is really, really, really good for that. There's another way, which is this way that I like to do for cardboard, is I just have a little pick. You can use something else if you have an awl. Just as always, be careful. And what I'll do is I'll tilt this camera down. What I do is I just place it down and I pick the corners where I want these, dents to be, these dimples for the rivets. I put that in air quotes. And I just push that in there, right? And you can make this as simple or as complex as you want to. There, I just did the four corners. It's slapdash, it's fastened on there, it's welded. Maybe they just wanted to give it a little extra grab. And then you can go ahead and, let's say we want to make it a little more complex, right? We wanted to make it a panel that's been really affixed there, and you kind of space out those rivets and you just go along and add details. And now all of a sudden you've got this panel that looks like it belongs on some type of, starship or whatever. And that when you paint it and then put a wash, it's going to catch those and it's going to make really cool details. And Let's see. Hopefully the camera can pick that up for you guys. Yep, that's actually how Justin says in cosplay, you can push all sorts of stuff into warm foam and make interesting rivets. I actually still utilize that for this stuff. I use my, where were they? I just almost cut my finger on one of them earlier. The brass pipes. I sharpen the tips of brass pipes and you can press them down into foam and rotate them. Doesn't even need to be hot foam, and then you can heat it and open it up. You could use, let's see here. Hello, hello. You can say, yeah, sewing pins as well. Another way to do it is if you wanted bigger rivets, right? Like let's say we want some big fuck off rivets, like honking big rivets. Well, you can go ahead, break the container while you're opening it, but you can use office thumbtacks. If you've got something like, you know, like this container here, like you could take these thumbtacks and just press them in and they'll stick in. You just push them all the way down. There's different textures you can get. You can get your, obviously your regular silver ones. There's like furniture tacks or ones that are like decorative, because now everybody's about the aesthetic in the office at home, which I love, and get stuff with like texture like this. And when you paint this up and then wash it or buff it up, it's going to look really freaking cool. So there's those as options for big ones. You can also use that brass tube, like I said, and cut them out of foam. Absolutely, yeah. Yep, scoring the foam and heating it, which is why I'll tend to do my rivets first, and then I hit it with the heat and it opens it up, makes it look deeper, and then the washes, you know, rest in there. I think there's a couple of cosplay videos where I do that in my library, so feel free to check those out. But yeah, it's a great way to do that. That's if you don't have something or want something sticking off. Then we have what I've been using for a while, two different types. These guys right here from the dollar store, they are a really freaking great budget option. However, as you can see, they're all joined together. I've learned to hate. I've learned to hate cutting the sections out and then attaching them. And also they have they have like a sticky backing to them. And the sticky backing, you put it on and you use super glue to put them on, and it kind of still moves and wiggles around a little bit if you bump into it. And just for me, it's not as secure as I want, but these are really good, low cost, high impact rivets. They paint up easily. And yeah, for $1.25, you get like 500 on them on 2 sheets. And then there's these alphabet diamonds, same principle, or alphabet gems. They're gemmed up alphabets, like same principle. They're just bound together by this adhesive that lets you peel these off and stick. And I would just cut them individually and use them. They paint up nice again, but it's a pain in the butt to like separate them. So what that boils down to is my 3 favorite ways to create rivet looks, right? So we've done the card and the punch, or you could use an awl, or like Dead Man says, you could use a sewing pin. You can press these in, or I did a video on this. I think it was a short, and we also did it during a live stream, is I cut with a regular hole punch a shitload of these little foam rivets out of EVA foam. 2 millimeter EVA foam. There's some 1 millimeter EVA foam in there, and then there's also some cardstock, so for thinner ones. When you look, if you wanted to do super detail, when you look at a aircraft that has a lot of rivets, they have something called a tolerance. Tolerance is what allows, a little bit of wiggle room depending, yeah, you could use those. You could absolutely use those. They're probably a little more expensive for a high volume, but if you were using it for cosplay or just like a one piece that you're building, absolutely. You have your tolerance on aircraft, and that allows for certain rivets to sit high, a little bit proud, some of them to sit more flush. So you can use that 1 and 2 mil thickness and create some variation in your design. And with these, I just do love to put them out on it. Yeah, we'll do it right here. I just put some, put them down, nice little pile. And then I take my X-Acto knife, and I also get some super glue, which I have right here. Max Secure. It's good stuff. I'm not even going to use any kicker But what I do is I just pick a arbitrary, spacing and follow that spacing, and I add rivets. So I guess we'll start right here. And I just take my X-Acto knife, pick one of these guys up, drop it down. Pick my next spot, place a rivet, and move right along. And you can center them up. You can make them as good looking or as bad looking as you want. Like I said, I'm just using an arbitrary spacing method here. Nothing fancy, but this is an easy way to add great effect and great value, and not great value brand, but great value, production value to whatever it is you're building, to make it seem like there's more going on. And also it's that classic sci-fi look of, here's this industrial thing that's covered in rivets. It must be pressurized or need to be held together and kept, all together. Yeah, I don't like the Mandalorian Mercs CRLs, so I'll have rivets and they can kiss my butt. And that's not against all Mercs. I just don't. Their standards are hypocritical in a lot of times, and so it's not for me. But yeah, you're right. In Star Wars, there's not a lot of raised rivets on costumes, and they don't seem to like that. Okay. Sometimes you glue it to yourself. That's a thing you can do if you're a dummy like me. Nut and bolt things. Yeah, that's also true. Model railroad nut and bolt kits, things like that. I've seen people cut the tips off of hot glue and make little little round sections of hot glue sticks and use those as rivets, which I thought was pretty cool. A little more time consuming, I imagine, than what I want to do, but you could absolutely do that. I think that's neat. Yeah, they it's interesting to see with the Mercs. Sometimes they approve, and this is not a knock on the makers. They have their standards, the Mercs they do, and they say, hey, everything's got to be like this. If yours isn't like this, you can't get in. But a lot of times, if you're buddies with, the VOD, whoever's in charge of the clan, they let those people have a lot more errors with their costume or get away with a lot more. And it just becomes like stupid. Hey, Dead Man, thanks for stopping in. Thank you so much. So you see, we're getting these rivets on here. They're adding character. I'm going to stop about right here with the rivets, just on the top here, because this is going to be attached to something later. And so you're likely never going to see the back. But this is just me showing you guys how I'm doing this top band. And then we're going to try something different on the bottom band. Different style of rivet. But this is it's one of those things where you can like put on a TV show or, put on your favorite album and just kind of jam out and just sit here and rivet your models, put your details on there, little things that, high production value and grab attention later once everything's painted and weathered. And it's so easy. Like I'm just literally just tapping a little bit of glue, placing the rivet and moving on. And you probably could, I don't know. Let's see here. There we go. I put down 3 drops of glue. So I could go here. Okay. We'll do one more paper one on there just for shits and giggles. Okay. Shazam. Okay. And that's going to be over. Yeah. So like the top band is all done. So let's talk about the history of rivets a little bit. Because I like sharing information. I got some notes over here. Gravy. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds about right. Meanwhile, they'll let somebody have an Ewok Mandalorian, a full, 5'11" adult person in a teddy bear costume with the bare bones armor that looks bare bones. And their VOD will let them in, but somebody who's got, an injury, I don't want to get into it. I'm in a good mood. Let's keep it that way. So rivets were basically, they're there to bear a load. It's a mechanical fastener, usually 2 pieces, and they get fastened together and then squeezed, and that allows the other end to blossom. There are pop rivets, which have a stem that when you pull the pop rivet, it pulls the bottom of the rivet and squeezes it. Sometimes there's 2-part rivets that you nest them together, and then when you squeeze, it blossoms out inside, and it makes a grab inside whatever you're building. Rivets were found throughout history that we know of because, history is changing fast. Basically, back in Egypt, they were used when they made spearheads, and they would hammer them into the holes in the spears on the, what is it called? This is going to be on Reddit. The shaft of the spear, but also the fitting that goes over the end of the spear that supports it. They would punch holes with an iron or a nail or whatever, and then they would put the rivet in, and they would bend it off on the back end, and that would make sure that when they stabbed the spear into somebody or cut into something, it wouldn't break the spearhead off or snap it. It would keep it on there. So that was like the first historical use of rivets that we know. I do wonder of the first guy who used, was hammering a nail through something, and it's like, shit. And he hammered down the corner, and basically that's exactly what they did. And one day he was like, man, this thing's really handy. Let me pass this secret along to the metal workers. And from there, it just became standard. So there's solid and round rivets, which are used a lot in aerospace, structural steel rivets. Those are the ones that are put in super hot, like they're glowing red, and they get fucking jammed in the holes and bucked in. And then when they cool, the metal does its thing and fuses it together. Those things scare the hell out of me. But you use a bucking gun. It's like a pneumatic rivet hammer, and it's this big fucking... We use the bucking gun for certain projects at my old job, and the hearing protection that you should wear and have is those things. I can still hear them, and it sounds like a machine gun going off. That's how fast, really loud. And those types of rivets that are like super hot and everything, they could bear seismic loads from earthquakes. So like, because they expand and contract with the weather, and there's certain thickness and density and alloys made for them, they're really good for earthquakes and holding up against those things, which is what you want, because they're used in like bridges and construction, industry construction. So you want something that can do that. So that's a really cool, different type of rivet. Then, like I said, there's pop rivets. They're like a tube with a flared head, and there's a pin in the middle, and when they're squeezed, it's a blind rivet. When it's squeezed, it pulls that bottom of the rivet in and dimples it, and then breaks off on the top, so it fastens it in place. Tubular rivets, they've got like a little dent in the bottom, so when they're squeezed, it kind of mushrooms in a weird way that fastens things in. And rivets are used on aircraft. They are used on bridges, cars. I mean, there's a million things that are riveted, and yeah, they really are cool to watch. But again, it's like you're watching these people toss these hot rivets around and just jam them in and bucking gun them in place. And I think it takes I was reading about it. It takes like 4 people to put one in, because they got to have somebody who grabs it, heats it, drops it in, the other person bucks it, and it's like an assembly line. of 4 people. But again, when you're building a bridge and you don't want that son of a bitch to come down during an earthquake or a bad windstorm or whatever, tsunami rolls through the river or whatever expanse it is, you want that. So it's just, that's serious stuff. Next time you're in a big city, when you're underneath a bridge, take a look up. There's those types of rivets. There's complicated rivets and things like that. You'll see, like, it almost looks like it's decorative, but really what it is, it's just well-engineered placement of rivets that holds these panels together, which creates bonds between 2 pieces, which are stronger than, say, 1 piece of material of the same thickness, because it allows that little tiny bit of flex, even though it might be so microscopic. So rivets are cool, man. I could go on about it, but let's take a look at the other kind after I clean up these rivets here that I dumped all over my table unceremoniously, because that's what you do when you're in the entertainment biz. That's showbiz, baby. Except I don't have like a crew to clean this up afterwards, which I get that certain TV productions and stuff, they have like a crew that cleans up after the main cast and all that stuff. But like, I don't know, it seems rude to me to be able to dump something out and be like, oh, they'll clean it up afterwards. I know it's their job. I don't know. I'm kind of like Keanu Reeves, where I feel like I would help the crew carry their equipment. Just seems right. They take care of you, so you take care of them. Bjorn says Hot Wheels has that kind of rivet. Yes, they do. And you can take that rivet out by using a common drill, just like a little Black & Decker like this. You get a drill bit that's a little bit smaller than the diameter of the bottom where the rivet is at the bottom of the car. You set it down carefully and you drill until you pierce through the bottom of that head. Then you get that out of the way, and then you can just take a flathead screwdriver and tap it a couple of times. It should pop the head off that rivet and allow you to take the bottom of the Hot Wheels car off. So, in case anybody wants to play Gaslands or take apart a Hot Wheels car, there you go. That one's free. That didn't cost you a thing. So, I've used these before. I ordered these again. And I know this is a lot of trash bashing. Like, this was all the tube that's in here was for my old job. We used to get plastic bags on these hardy tubes. Like, this is stronger than wood. And I would save the tubes afterwards and take them home for projects like this, recycled cap and whatnot. But again, kit piece. So I'm going to be okay using these, and I'll use them for a lot. You get a lot. It's like $8 on Amazon. I can give you guys the link if you want. Oh, you leave things till tomorrow. Yeah, I won't say I don't do that, but I will say I've gotten better about cleaning up my immediate workspace, so the next time I come into it, I'm not coming into a mess, because tomorrow guy hates last night guy when I do that, so I try to be today guy and take care of it. So I got these nail art beads in this nice little flower case. These were, I got the 375. These were supposed to be, no, they're not treats. It's just a bag. These are supposed to be flat black. It says flat black on the thing. I don't know if they mean like just the tweezers are flat black that comes with it, but I'll show you. There's a variety of rivet shapes and sizes, and that's awesome for the stuff that we do. So let me throw the link in the chat here. Give me one moment, cats and kittens. But yeah, I picked those up, and I was like, all right, we're gonna go ahead and use those. And they ship right like overnight, 1 day shipping on these. So let's see here. Where's my nail art beads? There we are. And I will share these to you guys, my friends. Where's the little share arrow? Where's the share arrow? I don't know what a share arrow is. There it is. Copy link. And we'll just drop this over here. I don't know if this is a, yeah, it should be my, there's link. Tomorrow me loves yesterday me, kids current me, get right back to work without killing time setting up. So, well, again, when I say cleaning up, I mean like sweep the floor, put my tools back. Not a problem. Not a problem. I mean, sweep the floor, put my tools back where they were, so I don't have to, hunt for them when I sit back down. I'll have a mess, and I like to clean it up. So that's how Old Famine does it. Now this thing is telling me that this is the top. So why you tape the bottom shut? I don't believe them. I don't know, guys. I think whoever assembled this in the factory elsewhere. Right? You guys see that? That arrow says up. That should be up, but look. It's the thicker side. If I pull this top part off, all these beads are going to eat shit all over my table. This will make a good blooper reel if this goes horribly wrong. So let's see here. Oh. All right. So there's some type of tape here. There's a lot of static cling. Ah, okay. Okay. All right. Maybe I'm the dummy. Yes, I am the dummy. All right. Let me get this tape here that I was just... So yeah, follow the instructions. Don't listen to Old Famine. All right. Yeah. So I did drop some beads. But yes, that is correct. Good for them for marking that right and me being a shaky-handed moron. All right, so let's get these back into their perspective containers. Oh God, there's so many beads. Think of the children. I don't like the children. Think of their hot moms. All right. All right, and we're gonna put that guy there. I don't freaking know. Cowman, there's nothing over there for you, buddy. He's like, I have to check. All right, whatever. Those beads are out of the way. So they give you two things with this, and I've done this with the pencil ages ago, but it's a little wax pencil. And if you get it off, there we go. It's a little wax pencil, and essentially you just like tap the bead. Bruh. Oh, there's a little coating on there. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna use a. Do I have a spoon? Oh, you think I would have set this up beforehand? No, I'm an entertainer. I'm not a professional. We discussed this. Yeah. So let's take a little scoop of these guys. Put them right there. A couple more. Cool. All right. So let's get those out of the way. And we're going to take cleaning the workshop. Make sure you remember what you have is cathartic. Messier is more organized. I used to feel that way, and then I started cleaning regularly and felt amazed. Regular weekends are for crafting and play. 3-day weekends are for crafting and play and cleaning. Yes, we are tapping beads. So I'm going to do some beads down here. Again, we're going to pick an arbitrary starting point. And I'm just going to make a few spots here. So you've got this little guy here. You just press this pencil gently, and it picks it up, and you drop it. There we go. Then you can use it to steer the rivet or the bead, whatever you want to call it, wherever you drop it. And it is pretty goddamn easy once you get started. Bear in mind, I am not working directly. All right, this is where Old Pal X-Acto blade comes in. Turn that over. Ugh, it's a tragedy. There we go. And saved it. Okay, so we're going to keep doing this Actually, we're going to go ahead and make a few more spots there. And we're just going to keep this trend up. Like this is handy. I'm going to get that glue off of there real quick. Son of a bitch. And this is all user error. This is not the tool. This is, well, it is the tool, but it's me. I'm the tool. So. And much like Batman, if I had taken appropriate prep time, Joker would have never escaped from Arkham. But here we are. And these little beads are plastic, so they're going to take paint nicely, especially after they're primed. And you're just starting to get that riveted. Wow, that riveted way. You know what? Tell that to anybody who is looking to subscribe on Patreon. Go ahead, and you want to see real. Watch a grown man fumble with nail art beads for 5 minutes of his live stream. And they say famine. Maybe take the time to arrange the beads ahead of time so that you can use them. And I say to that, yeah, you're probably right. I probably should have done that. You want a cookie or something? I don't know. And maybe, don't do a white on white background so people can see what you're doing. But yeah, they were supposed to be black. There's different colors you can get, different variety. But we are just putting little drops of beads all the way around this thing. Again, it adds character. It's going to help when this thing gets painted. And we'll do the last one first and then work our way inside. Okay. And again, it's that kind of like that science fiction spaceship aesthetic that you guys know from the old movie posters and the, old models, the old toys that are riveted together. And I think that that's freaking neat. And I think just certain things deserve to have that sci-fi aesthetic when you're world building. That little bit of detail, that little bit of extra effort. And I say extra, like, this isn't hard. This is by no means labor intensive. This is just time and, a little bit of patience. Like I said, maybe have an edible, maybe, put on your favorite TV show in the background and just chill out and put these things together. Oh, it's certainly me. I am certainly more the tool than the tool is. And if I wasn't afraid of a copyright strike, I'd probably put on like anything by Tool right now just to be funny. Ugh. There we go. Maynard is a tool. Is that a reference to something that I'm not getting? Or I'm just a little slow to pick up? Oh, Tool is your favorite band. Okay. That's cool. My favorite, I guess, since you didn't ask, my favorite band is Pearl Jam, but my favorite modern act is The Midnight. I cannot describe the attachment that I have to the Midnight. Just truly, truly love their music and what they did. Their music has done for me in tough times and in happy times too. It's really been amazing. Same with Pearl Jam. I think it's a shame that it's so expensive to go to their concerts now. I understand that they are absolutely worth every penny, but there was a time where Ed Vedder, was championing against Ticketmaster and all these companies that are, making millions off the backs of the artists and the people that just want to go and watch live music of their favorite bands. And, it seems to have disappeared. Maybe he made all that money and kind of forgot, but bums me out that it costs, $300 to go sit in Central Park, New York City, in the grass, in the back, to watch Pearl Jam play on a screen because you're so far back. And that really bums me out, but they are absolutely favorite band. Can't take that away. So we got some rivets on there. Let's rivet it up. Again, I skipped on the back a little bit so that the, that doesn't, get, you're not wasting your materials when it's being fastened to something behind it. Let's see. Pearl Jam was your first concert in 1995. That's freaking awesome. My first concert was Rob Zombie, Ozzy Osbourne, 2001 in December. And Mushroomhead was there as well. Saw them. It was the Oz Bless America tour. It originally was the Merry Mayhem tour. The 9/11 happened, and Ozzy decided to donate his proceeds from that tour to the 9/11 Rescue Fund. And as a New Yorker, greatly appreciated. And, Ozzy's not American, so he didn't have to do that, but he definitely did, and that was kick-ass. It was a hell of a show. That opened me up to all kinds of weird kinks. Beatles are your favorite band? Good band. Prince is your favorite? Like Prince, really love his music. Terror Hammer. I don't think I've heard of them. I'll have to listen to them. I will put it on a list and actually put it on play when I, do stuff. And you're digging Pigeons Playing Ping Pong. Is that a band? Or can I watch pigeons playing ping pong? Because I'm intrigued either way. I'd watch pigeons play ping pong as long as they weren't being hustled into doing it. And the poor pigeons are like, oh, I want to go fly around and shit on cars. And somebody's like, no, play ping pong. Keep going. Like, what's his name in Whiplash? J. Jonah Jameson. It's a band. Okay. Well, now I'm a little disappointed. Not gonna lie to you. I was kind of hoping you'd be like, no, there's actually some really fucking cool pigeons that just on their own learned how to play ping pong and were like prodigies at it. But no, you took that away from me. That's fine. I'm not gonna cry or anything. The Midnight? Yes, I absolutely can. And I will tell you, if you like Blade Runner, if you like sci-fi, if you like 80s retro synthwave music, absolutely. I started with Endless Summer, and just from there, Nocturnal, which is a fucking amazing album. Nocturnal is. It's very much Blade Runner. It's the best way I could put it. It just takes me there mentally to Los Angeles in 2019. Like in the movie, not real Los Angeles in 2019. Kids is really good. It's very, very, very nostalgic. It hits on that cusp of 80s into 90s kids, which I am. I am an 80s into 90s baby. And hey, welcome. Hey, Hicks, how's it going? Yes, yeah, we're talking Blade Runner here. We're talking music. And my favorite band, my favorite current act, The Midnight, their album Nocturnal just puts me in that headspace, brings me there. And, guys, as I was doing that, not a one of you could have been like, hey, Famine, why don't you use the tweezers that were included in this? No, I set them aside and didn't think of that. So there's tweezers too. So, user error. It's the tool, not the item. They did lie to us about the future. I want my flying car. I have no legs. Unless you have no legs. And then I kind of feel like an asshole for making that kids reference. Or are you talking about Forrest Gump? I don't know. I apologize. Probably in bad taste. And that's how Famine got canceled. But yeah, The Midnight, really good band. And I love listening to them when I craft, when I do artwork. You want music about the summertime that's really nostalgic. Days of Thunder, great song. Great song. And America 2, which, it's not popular right now to be American, but it is a really great song about immigrants coming to this country and trying to make a name for themselves and a living for themselves, because one of the band members actually is not from America, and he's now a U.S. citizen. But very good. Hey, thanks. Thanks, guys. I haven't had any. I've been 2 months now. Since January, December. I ran out and just haven't gone out to re-up. So yeah, no, maybe I need it. It's got no legs, no toes. Is this a pigeon thing? Are we back on the pigeons? Cool. But yeah, neat little kit, and like I showed, it has a variety of sizes. They come in different colors. I dropped the link in the chat. What I'll do is I'll go ahead and drop the hot link in the description of the video. But there's those, and then there's one other technique. I was hoping to grab those brass tubes. I just jabbed myself. Hang on, I'm going in. Where are you sons of bitches? Where's my family? Give me back my son. But for foam like this, which is not EVA foam, this is your regular foam insulation like what's behind me. You would take the tube, and they're sharpened, and you would gently press it in and then draw it away, and it leaves a little dimple with a ring around it, which looks like a bucked rivet. And then when you drop it on your workbench, when you paint it and then put your washes on or your detail coats on, let it run in there and collect, it'll pool in those resources and in the recesses, and it looks like old rivets. So you can do that on this foam as well. But I think that's exciting. I think we're getting ready to put a primer on that. Some of that glue's still tacky, Famine. I think I'm gonna do a little bit of damage on this now. So since we've got a few more minutes before the top of the hour, figure why not? We'll put a couple of scratches in there that I can hit with some heat a little bit later, and that'll open those up as well as close the cells of the foam. Put a dent, a couple of dents here. Maybe just give the metal a little bit of texture in certain spots to show that it is older. Father would drink a little and then paint. Tried it once and fix it when you're sober. I can have an adult beverage and paint and really enjoy myself, maybe two. But I try not to get sloppy while I'm doing crafts, just because you guys see the way I work. I work like a tornado, and so I'll grab this thing and that thing, and I don't need to be grabbing sharp and pointies while I'm doing stuff. Wind up injuring myself, so it's usually just like one drink, maybe two drinks, and then I chill out and work on my stuff. Yeah, it's a good set, and I'm going to use it. I'll probably use all of those beads, except for the teeny tiny ones. I could use them. I just feel like I'm giant gorilla mitts, and my hands don't work as well as they used to from my previous job, all that riveting and using angle grinders that were ergonomic, which were not ergonomic. Anything that's a right angle that has no grip and no adjustment ability for the operator is not ergonomic, no matter what you say. You can't just list it as ergonomic. So. But yeah, the Dollar Tree, again, for your value, if you're looking to do it extremely cheap, that's a great way. Also, the EVA foam, you can get a giant sheet of it for like 69 cents at Michael's. You could fill a Ziploc bag with these rivets and have 2mm foam rivets until the cows come home. Not you, cowman. I wasn't talking to you, but you're so handsome. You're already here. Yeah. Cowman's being cute. So I guess I'll just scoot over here and get out of the way so you guys can see a little bit. This piece is going to go, I had it propped up so I could display it, and then I started messing with things. I've been using a lot of garbage foam and styrene, so that's what that pile is. But this is going to go here in that little corner, right? So you guys can see that. And then this bad boy, once it's all painted and detailed, is going to get affixed in here, resting above that pipe. And it's a water tank, and that's in that corner out of the way. So that's a really cool thing that I've got going on here. I recently built a bridge to walk. There's going to be, for each level. That's a little further down the line. And I started building in the backdrop here. So it's been exciting. And again, I've literally just been using scraps, because you can do this stuff for cheap, for infinitely cheap. You do not have to spend a lot of money. You can go to a job site and ask nicely and say, hey, do you have any insulation board scraps left over, offcuts? Can I take them from you? And a lot of these times people will say, hey, yeah, no, take as much as you want, take some wood offcuts or whatever. And it's really great. It helps them keep their dumpster weight down. But like, this was all from my old job, this blue insulation. I did purchase one hobby board of insulation just because I needed more like of an expansive piece for something. But I also use the Dollar Tree foam board, the black foam board, and I just peel the paper right off of either side. And it's really, most sheets are good. This one was a pain in the butt to get it off, but you just peel it off, peel the paper off, spend 15 minutes watching a TV show, peel 2 or 3 of these sheets, and you wind up with that again. Scraps of the craft foam, some of it's self-stick, some of it's old EVA foam from hobbies that I have, cosplay hobbies, more of the foam core board. Again, boxes of crackers. This one is, this was a cracker box. Like, I use a lot of stuff. Recycled board. Some of the pipes that I'm doing are pipe fittings, excess, I think it's 3/4 inch pipe fittings. And then tubes from inside of aluminum foil roll or plastic wrap roll. Not toilet paper. That shit's weak. This is the stuff you want. This stuff is heavy duty. My hands hurt already. I don't know why I'm doing this today. But this is like heavy duty, like, see, barely even dented. It didn't fold over. You do that with a paper towel tube, it's going to wrap itself around there. Free stuff that you can get for infinitely cheaper. And you don't have to spend on, and you can. This is not me shitting on anybody's grind. This isn't me taking away from anybody's business, but you don't have to purchase 53 resin hand cast panels to world build. You can do it yourself and try and do it for cheap, because it is cheap. It can be it can be as cheap as free, right? It does not have to cost you a small fortune. It's my station in my studio room, all right. So I have a studio downstairs, but there's been some flood damage and some other things that need to be resolved. It's going to be costly in order to get it done. So I am currently up in my room. One day this might become the studio room, and I might move my bedroom elsewhere, but currently this is where it is. Late, but I'm here. I am big sexy. Too sweet me. Baby, I'm riveting all the time. You missed it. I did a bunch of riveting. I did riveting with little fucking beads from China that were supposed to be black, but they're white. That's cool because I can still paint them. We worked on riveting with, thumbtacks, the big ones, the big round ones, and some of the like ones that look like they belong in furniture. Josh, that's what we did. We used EVA foam to make some nice rivets for free, for super cheap. Yeah. Also, we did like the whole Dollar Tree peel and stick rivets, cutting these off of here. Yeah, that's how we do it over here on Famine Studios. I don't know what kind of riveting you do over at AMRAC, okay, but gimmick, we put it in where I don't know, I'm just fucking with you. But we had fun. Yes, we did some riveting. The glue's drying. It is super glue, but it's a little thicker, so it takes a minute. But we got this riveted up with a few different types of rivets on there. Just adds character to it when it gets weathered, sealed and weathered and painted. So hell yeah. And we also talked about using picks and awls, and doing a little something like this, where you can go as simple as you want your four corners to look like they have rivet holes or bucking holes or whatever in them, maybe even screw holes, right? And that's on there, and you could put that on, weather it, and paint it, and it look like a metal panel. Or you could go as far as to walk along and just add rivet holes all the way to each corner and make it look like, it can either be slapdashed if you're a little sloppy like I am because my hands are shaky, or if you really took your time and lined it up like I just did there, you could make it look neat. But at the end of the day, you paint this up, you've got a panel. You could put this on the side of your spaceship, on the side of your pod racer or whatever, and it would look like it's a professionally riveted, attached panel for whatever reason to that vehicle. And I think it was Orson Scott Card. His quote is, if it has rivets, it's science fiction. If it has trees, it's fantasy. And I like that. You can have both. But that's a pretty good basis of world building. If you're, putting in trees in a forest and stuff, you're probably doing a fantasy realm. But if you have riveted machines in industry, it's more likely science fiction. So then you wind up with that. And I think that's really neat. This is just a piece of card stock. Dropped it. I am a screw hole. Thank you. Only on weekends, baby, if you got enough money. And those were my pickups there. Finally got a Red Rex to open. A couple of clearance dinos at Target. Go hit up your Target to check the end caps. They have a lot of clearance dinosaurs. Yeah, that's what's up. This is patrons again. I'm gonna put their names on the bottom. This is what you guys are. This is part of it. This is part of it right here. Again, thanks so much to Bjorn, Steven, Lord of Thane, Task Force Worm, Task Force Wombat. Again, just appreciate the support. You guys help the channel. You're paying for the entertainment, which was a great point, and helps keep the lights on. And it's a great thing. And you guys are going to get your Patreon stuff March 15th, I believe, was the date that I set, since we started dead middle of February. For those who are wondering, they're going to be, for the first 2 tiers, there's digital items that are going to be provided, so you guys can print them out at home, cut them up, use them for your world building. They're going to be agnostic signage and patterns and things like that. You can print it on sticker paper and attach it to your world building stuff, or if you want to print it on decal paper. If you're in the top tier, you're going to get a physical sheet in the mail, and you're also going to get access to the digital downloads. There may be variants that will be available elsewhere or on Patreon that you can just purchase, where pay $3 and you can download the sheet and print out fucking 500 of them. I don't care, just as long as you don't sell them. You can give them to your nephews, neighbors, friends, with whatever. That'll be different from the ones that the patrons get. So that's what part of what Patreon is, but also they get sneak peeks at items that I have going on. damn near daily work in progress shots. I know I took yesterday and Sunday off just because I was worn and tired. And yeah, absolutely. Take a look, throw into your Google machine, Leonard, I think it's Leonard Battle Pack Raptor. And there's a pretty cool saddled Velociraptor that they had, and you could just kind of brainstorm off of that. There's a guy here called the Jurassic Compound. He used to go by Ted Brothers, and he has all sorts of custom dino painting tutorials. Really, probably the best out there for painting Jurassic dinosaurs. Highly recommend. If you want super realistic, there's a couple other people out there, but if you're looking for like toyetic designs and stuff, check out Ted Brothers videos, Jurassic Compound. Yeah, not a problem. All my painted raptors are sitting over there on top of my dresser, and I don't want to get up because then the dogs get excited, but I do have one primed here that I'd like to get to sometime soon, within the coming weeks at least, but I got them primed, ready to go. And yeah, you can put a figure on it to ride, so that's always cool. But I also pulled this. This was like an insert on something that I bought. I can't even remember what the hell it was, but I was like, damn, I could do two things with this. So I can cast it and have a, have a piece, which I'll probably do. I'll probably cast it in like slow cure resin so it doesn't heat up and warp the thing, so I can use it twice. But cast it up and then have it as a greebly. But then also I could, rivet it to a wall or something when I'm done, because I'll have a blank that I can then repeatedly cast. Oh, it's from a COVID kit. Yeah, the stupid little tests would sit in here, and then you got your tube. You put your thing in there, and you fucking, and then you pour it in the thing, and you watch, and you're like, oh, I'm not sick. It's just a regular fucking cold that's killing me. Yeah. But yeah, I think, like I said, I'm gonna cast this in a two-part resin. That way I have it, and then I could just make a mold, an actual like silicone mold of this, and then I can use this to like fasten to a wall. And since it's hollow, it'll be nice and light on the foam. Cool. And thank you, Nice Ninja Raptor again. Trash. This would go in recycling. It is recyclable. It's marked. It's got the things, but this would be going into a waste. It would go to a landfill, get chopped up, processed, and all that stuff. No, hell no. It's going in my display. I can use it for a secondary thing or a third tertiary. Tertiary is 3? No, that can't be right. Doesn't matter. I can use it for a third thing and apply it to my world building, or you could just use it as one thing and use it in your world building. Hell, you could use this to clean your paintbrushes. Like, there's a million uses. I think twice about throwing things away now. And I think that's a good thing. Like, listen, I'm going to get all of my high horse here. Planet's kind of on fucking fire, right? This place is not doing well. Tertiary was correct. Ooh, nice. This planet, this country, I live in America, like this globe is on fucking fire. Everything is going wrong. It was 65 degrees today in upstate New York, February 27th. It's not normal. That's not normal. Okay. So anything that I can recycle and I can save and I can get reuse out of, and I don't have to pay money out of my pocket, because for some reason when you walk out your goddamn door, it's at least $50 every time. Greebly, save something out of another thing, put it to use. Thank you. Welcome. Unless you're using a different name, I haven't seen you stop by before, so welcome. If it's your first time here, I do lives every Tuesday. I'm over on World Makers Consortium on Fridays. We stream it here as well. There's all kinds of videos about customizing toys, cosplay pieces, prop work. So stick around, hit the subscribe button, smack the like if you guys haven't already. Anybody's here who hasn't hit that like button, I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna give you a little kiss, and I'm like, push that like button. And that was the other thing I wanted to talk about, was my thumbnail. So the Rosie the Riveter thumbnail, which I think I peaked, right? I think that's it. I think that's the best thumbnail I'll ever make. I wanted to talk about that because, again, we were talking about riveting, and I thought it was funny, but it was We Can Do It, and she was used on the We Can Do It poster. Rosie the Riveter was an idea from a song before it was an image of women's, strength and movement. The song was written by Red Evans and John Jacob Loeb. It's not Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt. And basically, it was the government took a hold of it and kind of turned it into propaganda to get women to join the workforce, because the United States was in total war during World War I and World War II. Men were drafted. They were sent along and they had to go fight. So women had to move into the workforce, and essentially they took over jobs. And then they made that poster of, We Can Do It, the Rosie the Riveter poster. And then that poster went away for fucking years. And, there were a lot of women. There's still some contesting of who was Rosie, the actual, inspiration for Rosie Riveter. There was Rosina Bonavita. I'm going to say this right. She worked for Convair, and I'm going to read this here because I want to get this right. Then there was Rosalind Walter, who came from Old Money and worked the night shift building F4U Corsair fighters. She became a philanthropist and a board member of WNET public television station in New York, and she was a big supporter of the Charlie Rose interview show. There was Adeline Rose O'Malley, who was a riveter in Boeing's Wichita plant. And then there was Rose Will Monroe, who was a riveter for the Willow Run Aircraft Factory in Michigan. She built B-24s for the U.S. Army. She was born in Pulaski, Kentucky in the 1920s, and she moved to Michigan during the Second World War. And the song Rosie the Riveter was already popular, but she was selected to portray her in a promo film about the war effort. So Rosie goes on to be the most recognized woman and icon of that era. She was used all over the place. She got her pilot's license when she was 50. Unfortunately, in the 70s, she crashed. She lost one of her kidneys and the sight of her eye, which stopped her from flying. But she lived on to a great age, 77, passed away in 1997. And basically, there's a lot of contesting about who was this, on the poster. But that poster was literally used in 1943 and then vanished. And then all of a sudden, and that poster wasn't to encourage people to join the war effort. That was for the women in the factories, encouraging them yeah, we can do this. We can make a difference. We can be empowered as women and do these jobs that men used to do. And then it kind of vanished. And then it pops back up and became I think it was in the late 80s. And it was used for the feminist movement, which is awesome because, that's what it was. And since then, it got incorporated into American politics, which is kind of a bummer because they always take things and ruin it no matter what side it's on. And then it became a stamp. So it was the first, I think that was one of the first World War II propaganda pieces that became a stamp. So it's very fascinating, and I think it's really neat. And Mama Rosie picked her name from that, and she can do it. Get her a little bandana and a blue work shirt, and we'll get her a rivet gun and get her to work. Absolutely. I'm for empowerment of anybody that wants to do anything, as long as it's not hurting other people, and especially those who are fucking marginalized and don't get a fair shake. And it's still 2024, and women only make 72 cents to every dollar that men make. And that's fucking stupid. If they can do the same job, and they are doing the same job, they deserve the same pay. It was for anybody. But that was my little history lesson. You guys get I like this. I like doing the history part of things. When we did the Mothman stream, what was it, 2 weeks ago now? Yeah, it was 2 weekends ago now. Ooh, we're coming up on another one soon, I guess. When we did the Mothman stream, I had a blast, talking about the lore, the history of the location of West Virginia, Point Pleasant. So that was a really cool stream. You guys turned out in droves. So I'm excited to, visit the cryptid topic again and do a late night Friday stream. Spooky. Ooh. And yeah, this was fun. So at this point, I am going to call it. I'm going to get these dogs fed. Mama Rosie is looking at me like, you said the F word. I said fed. Yeah, that is true. Hey, am I back? Am I back? Looks like I'm back. Music's good though. Okay, maybe I'm back. Looks like I'm back. All right. Yeah. So again, boys got their PP cert when they came back from the war. I can't even begin to ascribe the idea of knowing what it's like to return from war, trying to find normalcy and struggling to find a job. But the way that they went about it was gross. And basically it was just mass layoffs of women so the men could get back to work and women could get back in the kitchen. It's bullshit, right? They used to advertise during the war effort for women, can you use an electric mixer? Then you can learn to drill. That's awesome. Okay, great. Weird that they had to go that route because, that's all women were good for apparently was, hey, get in the kitchen. But like, that's what worked. So it's like, okay, it shows that everybody can do these jobs. They can do it equally. In some cases, they could do it better because they were more lithe, had different ranges of motion, all this shit. But, it's neither here nor there. But it was kind of shitty. It was not even kind of shitty. It was extremely shitty when that happened, when people came back from the war and they were like, I want my job back because I'm a boy. And they fired the women and hired men back and had to be a surge in the workforce in the 70s. And that at that point, like industry, as far as like factory workers, started to go downhill due to automation and the assembly line, getting improvements and things like that. And also a lot of shit being sent overseas because it's cheaper over there because, yeah. So that said, fucking workplace equality. Don't be a dick. Women can do damn near everything that a man can do. Men can do damn near, yeah. Yeah. Hey, speaking of Rosie, hello, Mama. Oh, here we go, Mama Rosie. See, oh, hello, Mama Rosie. Did you want to be in the video? Did you hear your name? Yeah. Oh, I love you. Oh, I love you so much. Yes, you're so beautiful. Yeah, you heard your name, and she heard her name, and she was like, let me come over here and show these men that I can do it. Aw. You're such a brave and strong lady. You would have been a hell of a riveter in the workforce. Yeah. You're a good dog. Yeah, that's you on the TV. Well, it's not a TV, it's a laptop, but you get my point. That's you. You're doing such a good job. I'm going to have to make up little Mama Rosie posters and have her around Gimmick and the docks. So, all right. You're ready for dinner, huh? Yeah. All right, I'm going to put you down, let you go play with the boys, and then we'll have some dinner. Yep. Hang on, cowman. All right, guys, I appreciate each and every one of you tuning in tonight. It has been a great live stream. I appreciate you hanging out. You will see me Friday, World Makers Consortium, 8 p.m. here, and also on Rad Toys channel. Make sure you like this video if you haven't already. It does help. Anybody who's new, you stuck around, I appreciate it. Thanks for staying all the way through the video. Patreon is patreon.com/FamineStudios262. I don't know why they gave me the 262, but we're going to embrace it. We're going to use it. We're going to move forward. Again, huge thank you to my patrons. It's patrons. I don't know. I watch too many people who say Patreons. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to let those guys scroll across the bottom one more time. Again, Bjorn, Steve, Lord of Thane, Task Force, Wombat, and all the others that have signed up. There is a free tier if you guys want to keep up with posts that I share there for videos. Every once in a while, I put a little sneak peek, a little incentive for you to come over and check it out. Like I said, there's digital goods that are coming. There's physical goods for the higher tier patrons, and it's exciting and fun. So I hope you guys like that. I'm also on Teespring. Teespring is running a 30% off, if not 35% off right now, sale for shirts and such. So go there and go to TeePublic, not Teespring. TeePublic. Sorry, Famine's had a couple of seltzers. Just fucking had some seltzers, you know what I mean? So you go to TeePublic / Famine Studios, pick up a couple of shirts. We got the Rusty Jackalope Provisions Company, which is this building right here. It is a smuggling front in the world of gimmick. And we've got the Famine Studios logo, which you guys can see right in the corner of the screen. We've got that on a shirt. We've got it on some mugs. So be sure to check that out. Go pick one up. Payday's coming up. Scoop one up then. Take advantage of the 30% off sale. I only make like $1 off the shirts, so they're not a huge breadwinner. I just think it's really cool that people have a shirt that I helped design that was drawn up by Grime City based off of my drawing. Really good shit. And 26, there you go. You can't forget it. Can't forget it. But otherwise, I will see you guys Friday. Be sure tomorrow to tune into Lord of Thane and can you tell it's Tuesday? Can you tell that it's freaking Tuesday? Pirates of the Galaxy, Lord of Thane, Whip Wednesday, YouTube live, 5 p.m. Eastern, right here. Not on my channel, but on YouTube. That's the here I'm talking about. Go check them out. Show them some love. Give them a thumbs up, a like, all the fun stuff. Subscribe if you're not already. Then you will see my host to my co-host on World Makers Consortium. He's actually co-hosting with Dom over on Toy Domination here on YouTube on Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Double check that. And then again, you'll see us 8 p.m. Friday, World Makers Consortium. It's going to be fun. Check it out. Otherwise, guys, be well. Thank you for tuning in. And freaking too sweet me.